Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. This is my 2010 Nissan Altima Hybrid. And what I'm going to be doing today is I've got a rattling noise in the car. Seems to be located in the passenger side front area. Not quite sure what it is, so what I'm going to do is we're going to take a quick test drive and hopefully I can get it to act up. I'm pretty sure I can. And show what it sounds like inside the car. And then we'll do a couple of quick checks and then we'll jack it up and take a look. So it's in EV mode right now, so it's pretty quiet. Got some definite bumps up here on the road. Let's check this out. There it is. Clunk-unk, clunk-unk. You like my imitation there? Pretty good, huh? So, what I've learned in driving the car and hearing this horrible noise is that if I hit bad bumps with the left front driver's wheel, I don't tend to get that noise. Whereas if I hit the same bumps with the right wheel, the same kind of bumps with the right wheel, I definitely get that noise. The noise appears to be coming from the passenger side front. And so we're going to hit some more bumps here. Not too bad here. Right when I go around the corner, I'm going to hit some. I also have some sporadic occasional noise out of the driver's side front wheel, but that sounds like the dust shield, the brake dust shield. It sounds like maybe it's rusted and some pieces are scraping. So main thing is the noise would be coming out of, from the view of the cameras, should be coming from the left side, which is my right side, passenger side, and it's definitely up in that front dashboard, front top area, support strut area maybe, I don't know. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you another thing I found that's interesting to me. So this is what I discovered yesterday when I got home. Watch this. Nothing unusual, right? Well, let's come over to the passenger side where the noise seems to be coming from. Get it? Hear that metal? Jingling and a jangling? Well, this was quick. What ended up happening was I started to jack the car up and I got myself a dead blow mallet because I wanted to see whether or not the noise would get louder as I took weight off of this wheel. And you know, I was coming over here and giving it a whack and was able to recreate the noise perfectly. You notice now it's not doing it. A little bit more difficult because since I was down here low and hitting it with the hammer, I could definitely hear it was coming up from up here. So I look in here at the bottom of the strut and I see look at that, huh? The bottom part of the spring has broken off, snapped right off. You know, it always amazes me that instead of bending or giving, you know, it lost its elasticity and snapped. That's just a weird thing. It must have hit a big pothole, which we get those here in New England. They can be real killers, car killers. And hit it so hard that it caused this to snap off. And then what was happening was this was kind of resting in it. It's funny, it's hard to recreate it, but it was resting in there just right so that when you would go over a bump, there it is. So That's what I was hearing in the car. And that's why it sounded like it was so high up to me. It almost sounded like it was under the hood. And it makes sense because, I mean, literally, it's you're 2 feet away from underneath the dashboard there, if that. So that's the cause of. So that just goes to show you, you definitely want to always investigate these sounds and see where they're coming from. Now, the question is, what do I need to do about this? Do I need to do anything about this? It's interesting. I would say that I'm going to have to replace the strut. So the reason why I say that is because the bottom part of the spring, it starts bearing around here. And it actually has all of this surface going all around the back pretty far, all the way back here to behind here, that it's still supporting that weight. I'm no expert, but I'm going to say that it's not a unsafe to drive situation right now, but that it's definitely a sooner than later. I think I can wait for an order of struts to come in and do the struts on this. So, all right, so this is going to be a real short video and a wrap, but pardon the pun. That was it. That was the noise. Huh. Oh, if you were curious about that noise I was alluding to on the driver's side here, that's the classic. That's the classic dust shield rustification problem. So this is what it sounds like. Hear that little tiny bit of scraping? Doesn't sound like much, but when you get up to speed, it sounds horrible. You might think you've got a wheel bearing going or something. But typically what happens is there is, what you're hearing is it's got a very light sound to it. It's not a clunk at all. It sounds like a light metal. And the reason why it sounds like light metal is because it's actually this thin piece of metal right here. You can just see the edge of it right here. See if I flip it with my finger. See how it's got a light sound to it, like a pan? That's what it is. It's kind of a metal pan along the back side of the rotor. And it's called a dust shield. And what happens is you can get a big chunk of rust can fall off and get stuck between the back side of the rotor and that pan, and it'll make a hell of a noise. So, and one of the ways you can often tell if that's it is sometimes you can bend the pan back a little bit and the noise will go away if you can find where it's touching. I've even had times where I was able to actually bend the pan and have a chunk of rust fall out the bottom. Look, right there, see it? You see that or not? Alright, so I turned the wheel to the left so I can get better access, and I got in behind here and I bent this part right here of the dust shield, and it's really easy to bend, which is another sign that it's really kind of rotted. But I bent that out and just kind of did that a few times, and this is the pile of rust chips that fell out. So, you know what happens, a big chunk like that, there for instance, how big that piece is, that flakes off, gets stuck behind the pan and wedged in there and starts scraping against the rotor, and that's all it takes. So now I've done a little bit of derustification on it. Noise is gone, but I should get a new dustpan so that next time I do a brake job I could replace that. Of course, I'm going to have this all apart and do the struts anyways, right? I guess maybe I should get one then. All right, that's it. Take care.